Vice President of Nigeria, Shettima, has departed Addis Ababa after representing the country at the second United Nations Food Systems Summit. At the gathering, he urged global stakeholders to deepen cooperation with Nigeria in rebuilding sustainable and inclusive food systems across Africa, emphasizing that true sovereignty begins with food sovereignty. Vice President Shettima said President Bola Tinubu's national strategy of declaring a state of emergency on food security and rolling out key reforms aims to transform agriculture into a youth-driven, market-based engine of growth.
It's about this bold step by the Nigerian government, the seriousness by Mr. President. And if you look at what Mr. President has been doing, it's about creating strong institutions across all sectors of the Nigerian economy, be it in education, be it in energy, be it in agric, be it in transportation. You could see a deliberate enforcement of strong institutions across all sectors of the Nigerian economy. And so for us, this visit to this participation in Ethiopia is a statement of commitment, is a statement of boldness, is a statement of seriousness of the Nigerian government. And the fact remains, if the Nigerian government does not take this initiative and take this bold step in revolutionizing the agri sector, which country can, given our endowment in terms of human and natural resources?
And earlier at the summit, Vice President of Nigeria, Shettima, while addressing the plenary session, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to addressing food insecurity, stating that the administration of President Bola Tinubu has declared a state of emergency on food security. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
The 2025 report on the state of food security and nutrition in the world highlights that global hunger has declined overall, but is rising in Africa and Western Asia. However, the report notes that 8.2% of the global population, which is around 720 to 735 million people, were affected by chronic hunger in 2024. But the United Nations acknowledged that around the world, transformation is already happening in countries that are vulnerable to crisis. This transformation must be rooted in robust data that reflects the need of the communities at risk.
Short-term interventions dominate, with little connection to the long-term development planning, and they're not the solutions that we are seeking. So we must choose transformation over dependency. We have good examples. Nations are embedding resilience into national strategies. Leaders are refusing to accept hunger as inevitable.
We know that where food systems collapse, instability rises. So breaking the complex cycle of hunger, fragility, and crises that traps so many families is the key to creating a more stable and food-secure future for all.
For Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima, he is talking about the strategy of the Tinubu administration in turning moments of crisis into opportunities. He says the state of emergency on food security declared by President Bola Tinubu in the early days of his administration is already yielding results.
The whole mantra is on increase in yield, embrace modern agricultural practices, fertilization, improve seeds, better agricultural practices. This is why we are reinforcing our extension services so that our farmers can get up-to-date data on rainfall patterns, on how to manage the climate shocks that is ravaging our parts of the world.
Somalia's Deputy Prime Minister talks about the recovery efforts in his country after an insurgency that crippled governance and institutions.
We have come to realize that we have had well over 20 droughts, 18 droughts, floods in the last 30 years. So these recurring phenomena need permanent, durable, sustainable solutions, not one-time fixes.
Nigeria is clearly not immune from the global food crisis, but with deliberate policies and strategies, it has set itself ahead of the pack by providing incentives for smallholder farmers, including women and youth. Nigeria's participation at this year's UN Food Systems Summit is to build partnership that will ensure sustainability and build resilience. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Addis Ababa.